Hey guys, my name is Bando. We're back on the work desk. It's filthy as always. We haven't been here for a while, and I wanted to talk to you guys about hobby trepidation, I suppose, fear in the hobby. Um, I regularly will purchase kits well in advance. Like the way I like to buy my kits is I like to buy big bundle box sets and then sit on them for a while and build them over a course of period, course of time. I get people, making fun because I have 4 Age of Darkness box sets. Well, I'm not going to buy a Spartan. I'm not going to buy a tactical squad, for example, a Mark 6 squad, and just go off and build it. I'm going to buy the Age of Darkness box set, and I'm going to use all of those models going forward over multiple projects, rather than spending like £30 a month or whatever on my hobby budget. I'll put it all away and I'll have, one big purchase. Which means I generally don't buy more interesting stuff a lot of the time, especially more expensive plastic kits. For that, I have to rely on the generosity of friends and family. And, that's what I ask for Christmas, for birthdays. Hey, I'm after a tank, something like that. And unfortunately, unless I build it there and then, a lot of the time, those sorts of kits end up sitting in my pile of shame for sometimes years. One of the worst was I bought the Ghost Warriors set for the Eldar back in 6th edition, I think it was, which was a Wraith Lord, 2 Wraith Lords, a Wraith Knight, and a load of Wraith Guard. And I didn't touch the Wraith Knight, and it wasn't until like 8th or 9th edition that I actually built it. And the kit had built up in my mind to be a scarier and scarier kit. And the same things happened. I was given this kit by, I believe, my sister, but it might be my parents. I can't quite remember. For my birthday, I think 2 years ago? Maybe a year ago? I can't quite remember. Well, I finally got round to building it. And I'm very happy I have. And I wanted to share it with you. But I wanted to talk about how this can be a problem. You can become afraid of working on a kit, because I know it happens to me. It's happened to friends of mine where they put it off because they don't want to build it. Usually for them, it's bigger Forge World kits. And we had a good chat in Discord the other day about, we were talking about the Knight Perforian and just how many bits are in it. And there are certain kits, like I'd love to buy some Storm Eagles, Fire Raptors, but I'm just worried about building them because they have such a reputation. Well, rather than keep waving my hand around like some sort of, wiggly thing, let's show you what you've come to see. Let's show you some models, or a model. So this is possibly now the biggest model I've built. And it is certainly the first Knight I've built. It is a Cerastus Knight Acheron, I believe. And it is obviously the plastic kit. And this will be joining my Night Lords. Obviously, it's covered in spikes. I have left all of the armour plates off because I want to paint all of the underside. This is actually still removable. And he is only pinned onto his base, as you can see. So let's pop him. We'll start with the base. So it's a big base. It's the largest base I've ever actually worked with. And I knew I wanted something heavy. So I was thinking I've got loads of random resin bits that I want to use. I have some of these casualty models that I had printed off. And I've had bits of slate left over for a while. I had this resin ruined house. It's kind of a bit weird and wonderful. It's just sort of like a slate house all stacked together. It's vaguely, just a low technology rubble, like ruin. So I thought that would be great. It's nice and heavy, so it works perfectly. I built everything up with cork tile, added the casualties, did a little bit of storytelling, and drill a nice big hole for a pin made out of a cotton bud, or for my American friends, a Q-tip. And yeah, so nice sturdy base, that's not going anywhere. And then I built this guy. Now, I don't know why I went for this one, like why I specifically asked for this one. I just knew I didn't really like the Lancer that much. And there are definitely parts of this kit I really, really like. The posability is pretty fantastic. The toes, for example, are separate, so you can, place them more levelly on the surface you are going to be basing them on. One issue I had was I knew this was the pose I wanted. I like me a tactical rock. Okay, sue me. I think tactical rocks add variation. I think having some height in a model is important, and I knew I wanted one leg up. I was initially planning to have it sort of one leg up, but more to the rear. And this is where I found my first problem. The piston that goes in here, so you have a ball socket joint with a plastic rod coming down, which goes into a ball socket jointed tube. It is about 0.5 centimetre too short for this pose. So I had to build the right tube back in, again, using a cotton bud. You see there, just a peg. It's all it is. Adds a little bit of structural support and allows me to, keep it in the same location over and over again. I've added trophies all over in the same manner I would with my Night Lords. Some chain, which for some reason the super glue on the chain, which I normally use to make it rigid, doesn't go all white and gloopy, but it has here for some reason. Maybe it's a bit humid in here today or something, I don't know. I'm probably going to end up having to cover it with weathering powder or something to hide how gross that looks. It can still come out. I haven't bothered doing anything. I haven't built the guy inside. I don't really care for that. But I did add some horns or tusks to his helmet to make him a little bit more chaotic. I do like how the camera is trying desperately to focus, like it's almost losing its mind looking at him. So yeah, and then I shall paint all the armour plates separately, because I want to be able to paint them separately. Now I'm looking at this model, he is not as terrifying a prospect in my mind. Yes, it's a lot of parts, and I did opt to ignore the cable at the back out of a purely kind of personal aesthetic reason. I just don't like the cable going to the ammo drum, so I just plugged the hole with a skull and left it out. This is arms still separate. I need to clean this up before I paint it. So yeah, I know that this isn't such a big deal to me anymore, and it's still going to be the biggest model I've painted going forward, and that will be probably a part 2 to this video, I suppose. Have you got a model like this that you are struggling with? Have you got a kit in your pile of shame that maybe you don't want to build? Maybe you're a bit afraid of painting it. It's a bit too much for you. is there anything like that for you out there? Are you struggling with a kit? I'd love to get my hands on a Sokar Stormbird at some point. It's a massive model. It's the crowning jewel of a collection sort of thing. But even from a recaster, the price is terrifying, and I wouldn't want to screw it up. So let me know what you think. Have you built this kit? How did you find the posing of it? Do you have any suggestions? What was the hardest kit you ever had to build? Let me know. I'm genuinely interested. I have bought myself a set of hobby chisels for panel lining for like Gundam models. I was very strongly tempted to chisel out some of these panels and then have them opened. Then I realised I'd actually quite like to finish this model, this weekend. And it has taken me pretty much all weekend to work on. So thank you to the support from the guys who I've been chatting with in Discord. Mostly been hanging out with guys in the Outer Circle Discord for this one. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what the hardest model you worked on was and why it took you so long to work on it. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.